Hello, friends. My name is Reni Sentana-Ries, and today is the 18th of April, 2019. In 2006, I wrote a global agenda, and I divided it up into many items, more than 20, if I can remember correctly. And I'd like to share with you today the agenda item number 17, which is or has somewhat of a prophetic significance. Some people may think I took it out of the Bible, but I really didn't. I am a believer of the fact that if we ever, as a human race, desire to reach a point where we can behave like a civilized society, global civilized society, we need to first reconcile our soul's attitude with the wrongs of our past. And do not let us not think that the wrongs of our past have been committed by people other than ourselves. No, because we reincarnate periodically along the timeline of history over and over again, hoping that from one incarnation to another we learn from our mistakes, the mistakes of our past. Now we have reached the a point in the equinox of time where we are being given the last kick at the cat, so to speak, to do things right. And so when in 2006 I had lots of time available to myself to write a global agenda for the future of humanity, I have referred to the fact that the books of the past need to be opened and exposed for all to see the contents of it, in order for us to be warned never again in the future to ever make the same mistakes again. So I called this agenda item and the books are being opened. I'm going to read it out to you now, and it is in particular aimed or addressed to the generals of the United States of America military. Why the U.S. military, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you this much. The United States military is the supreme power, the institution with the supreme power, in the sense that if it wishes to be subject to the government of the U.S., which according to the Constitution it should be, then many things go wrong and have gone wrong in the past. Look at Afghanistan, Iraq, now Syria. We have things going wrong with the help of the U.S. military. For once, the military needs to come under command by someone who prevents these disasters and the same mistakes from happening all over again. So I have written an agenda item in which I address the captains and commanders of the U.S. military. I said the following: Good morning, generals. I want the historical record of the past set straight. This is the ugliest assignment I have given you yet. However, it needs to be done in order for the most accurate record of mankind's history we can possibly produce to go into the archives of the Akashic records. Just a minute. The match between the one we will create at the end of this age and the one which all participants have written by the hand of their own lives should match as closely as possible the one which already exists scattered throughout the Akashic records now. You may compare it to defragmenting a hard drive. From the general public, I want men and women to come forward who wish to participate in this awful task. Historians, scientists, anthropologists, laymen, laywomen, researchers, and so on, and who will then create many teams throughout many countries to conduct an array of historical research of the past events, the rise and fall of kingdoms, the intrigues and treacheries of their leaders, the wars they conducted, the secret societies they formed, the monarchies they destroyed, the doctrines they have invented to deceive the people, the economic and philosophical systems they created to control the masses, the schemes with which they plotted to overthrow righteous civilizations and societies, their names, the hierarchies of their power, the texts of secret covenants they wrote, their religions, and also the good deeds many did throughout mankind's known history. As resources, I want you to be given access to all major libraries of the world, all archives held by governments, museums, and religious institutions. I want Pope Benedict, that was the Pope at the time in 2006, to secure the archival records of the Vatican until our teams arrive to work there. And I want you to have access to all records and translations of the Dead Sea Scrolls, classified or not. There also are the Society for Historical Review, the Canadian and Australian League of Rights and their archived books, NASA, the Pentagon, and so on. For example, we need the facts about the Tower of Babel, the wheel Ezekiel described, the Sumerian people and their records, their connections to the extraterrestrials, Atlantean technology, why technology became lost for so long, the pillar of fire from Moses' days, how the pyramids were built and by whom, and for what purpose, who designed and constructed the monuments on Mars, what wars destroyed the surface of Mars, where has Mars' atmosphere gone and by what mechanism was it lost, where has Mars, what are the facts of mankind's origin on Earth? Why do we have different races? Indicating the fallacy in the theory that all of mankind came from Adam and Eve? Are the theories of genetic evolution accurate? Are the miracles of Christ true? How does prophecy come about, which speaks of future events? Where does it come from? Who invented religion and instituted the abomination of animal sacrifice? The truth about Moroni or Moroni? Who lied about the alleged need for innocent human blood as payment for others' sins? Who were the gods that demanded to be worshipped? Why are we not told the facts of reincarnation and that of our own godhood potential? Why are we being forced now to throw religion into the trash bins of mankind's screwed up history after millennia of human suffering from lack of understanding? Which catastrophes were caused by interplanetary conjunctions, and what planets are involved, or what planets were involved? How did the asteroid belt came into being? Is time travel possible? And if so, why? Why did the God of Moses condone money and then says, look after the poor? If even then money was at the root of all poverty and evil? Who was Moses' God? Why so many wars? And why was the library of Alexandria burned to the ground? I want the truth about Pearl Harbor, the Russian Revolution, the wars of Europe, the fall of Rome, the Jewish Holocaust. Why does man oppress woman? The Kennedy assassination, the massacres of the Palestinians and the Armenians, depleted uranium and its consequences from use in warfare. Why and how did the towers of New York come down? Atomic underground tunneling, the reintroduction of torture in modern times, the origin and purpose of Freemasonry, the Illuminati, all revolutions, extraterrestrial captives and how they have been treated, or mistreated rather, by the established elite, and anything else you, generals, may find important for us to understand why and how events of the past unfolded the way they did. I hope you have time enough to finish this work before conditions on this planet call for our global evacuation. Before we leave this planet, we need the air we breathe cleared from all misconceptions. Here the teams must learn to emotionally detach themselves from the information they find and proceed on that basis. When the research is done and the picture of humanity's past is clear, the purpose of this exercise is fulfilled, and we can then move on with worlds of bliss we create for ourselves, having thoroughly learned from the mistakes of our past. To facilitate a free flow of information from the work of these teams back to the people, I want all teams to have full access to the internet, operate their own websites, where they will publish condensed reports of their findings, interlink with each other, and for the purpose of reaching all people everywhere with the information, we must now aim to provide every household with the opportunity to have connection to the net. Thank you, generals, for your attention. You are now dismissed. Okay, that's the end of my instructions I have given to the generals and commanders and admirals of the United States military. Will they follow this? Time will tell. I have done my duty to set the record straight as far as even the issue of the Bible talks about in Revelations, where it speaks about the books shall be opened. Now, this has come to us as an opportunity and a mandatory issue for us to get reconciled as far as mankind's history with our own past. It's our opportunity to heal from the wounds that we have inflicted upon ourselves as well as on others. So I recommend everyone within the hearing of my voice to consider this as a necessity, that we open all the books and all truth become known again, so that we will not be inclined to repeat the mistakes of our past ever again. Thank you for listening. My name is Reni Sentana-Ries. I have more to share with you in future times. That's all for now, and have a good day, and a good afternoon, and a good night. Thank you.